to flip me off.
All right, this one works, Alan. We got recording going. Let's launch this missile. Let's get this sucker started. Let's make sure somebody doesn't slip down the roof again and do stupid shit like Chris did. That's right.
Or try to fix my microphone and dump the entire studio on the floor, including our bourbon, which did not break.
So the only thing that did not break as we dumped the entire studio table down because Alan didn't like the position of his mic was our bourbon. So to that, I say cheers. Hey, that's why we do this shit. Oh my God, this is amazing. We have a great guest today because I had a chance to hear about her. I had a chance to talk to her on the phone, but I never had a chance to have her in person.
You're kind of building her up to be something to be heard.
You know what? This is like Smartless, how they introduce the invisible guest.
And I really don't know what she does. And
right.
So
she loves Smartless, and you know what? She doesn't realize she's with guys who are probably better than Smartless. We have some serious cachet. I mean, we can do this. I mean, Bateman, Arnett, Hayes, they want to be like us. It's so funny is that one of those requests I was telling you that we get every once in a while is their producer reaching out saying, "Hey, can I people talk to your people?" I'm like, "You're talking to the people, bro." And so don't big time me because I'm big timing you. That's right, Smartless. We're coming after you. You think you go to Hamptons and interview Stern? Well, you know what? I can do the same. We're going to go on remotes too, Alan. How about that?
We talked about going on a remote.
Right.
To a brewery.
We're still going to do it.
I want to do a remote with Jake going through Athens to all the places that have Peach State Light.
All right. We'll make that happen. Actually, Jake and I just come back and forth on a couple things because I've got the branch up in Athens. They actually have just gone big time. You know, they signed a deal with Publix. So they've got Southeast distribution now, which is huge. If you know anything about beverage sales, again, how to scale your business, come up with a great product, come up with a good idea, but you've got to find the decision makers. And we had Richard Grove on, Mr. Wall Storage, not just a name, but an entity, kind of like what we have today, because we're building this thing up. This is going to be so epic. By the time we introduce this guest, you guys are going to be like, I want her autograph.
And she's sitting there going, how am I going to say something after Chris goes off like a Roman candle?
Oh, by the time we're done, I mean, she's not just Jenny on the Block. She's going to own Jenny on the Block and all those rocks. Oh, did I just say that? I did. All right, let's go back to this. So Jake from State Farm. No, Peach State Light.
No, so just for our listeners, Chris really injured himself, and I jokingly said, "Did you take some pills with this booze?" And he goes, "Yes." So is this?
That was not a joke. I did.
Okay, right, but I'm just.
Are we on the booze?
Have they kicked in yet?
No, I just took Advil.
Really?
Well,
no, I know you.
Hey, it's legal somewhere, right?
Yeah.
No, damn it. All right.
Did you get it under a load of celery?
Right. Oh my God. Did you? Oh, all right. So here in Atlanta, they just break this news that says at our national or our State Farm grocer that they did a meth bust in celery, and I so bad wanted to put peanut butter and little raisins on it. Remember we had peanut butter out of
ants on a log.
Ants on a log. I was like, that is a new meaning to ants on a log. It was meth and celery. So I'm still going to do that. I think I'm going to do one celery with a bunch of
2,300 pounds of meth. And I sent that picture. I sent the article. I've got a buddy who's a celery farmer up in Michigan, actually. And I'm like, this is why you buy U.S. celery.
This is why you buy. Well, all right. So back to this. Here's what they said. They said, you know, and the poor celery farmers that are up against them are really hurting. They had the agricultural farmer head on, making a quote saying, this is really hurting the real celery farmers because they don't care what they're pushing the celery product at because all they're trying to do is boot the meth. I'm like, so that's the biggest problem, not the fact that you're bringing in 2,300 pounds, 23 million pounds of meth and distributing all across South Georgia. I'm like, get real. And so back to true crimes, because that'll put us in the best, highest.
He didn't take Advil, did he, Mary?
No.
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
No.
Yes, he didn't.
We're
Let's
on
go.
to you, buddy.
Guys,
We're on to you.
It was just a little. I'm all right. I just love my celery. It's a log. All right. All right, guys, let's do this. Mary Block.
Yeah.
Not just Jenny on the block. Check that. See how I did that?
Yeah, that's your worst one that you've done.
Oh, come on.
Listeners, you can back me
all
up
right.
on this.
So Mary was a school teacher for how many years?
16.
That's 16. And in teacher years, that's 16 times 22.
Right.
It's like 105.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but she decided, you know what? I'm teaching eighth graders. What would be easier? Oh, I don't know. How about selling products to aging people who are not cranky and hurting like Chris is right now? So she's bought a Mobility Plus franchise here in Alpharetta. I've heard a lot about her and about how she's doing this and what's going on. I actually have had her partner in crime come out and give me a quote with, again, cranky old people who decided not to go with this because they were just fine at 91 and 89 to get up the stairs themselves. Yeah, no, not really. In fact, I just wore KJ out again about that. I'm like, are you kidding me right now that they wouldn't do anything?
It was his folks.
Yeah. Who just recently sold the business for, yep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the money, it was the pride.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. 91 needs knee surgery.
Yeah.
Happens a lot.
Doc says, we can't do the knee surgery. Odds of making it probably not worth it. And what does he tell me? He goes, I'm not as bad. It's my wife is worse. I'm like, okay, yep.
Then get it for her.
And they wouldn't do it. I know. I was trying to come up with all kinds of ideas, and it wasn't the money. It was a great product. So, Mary's husband came out and gave me a quote to do this, and it was a really unique product and something I'd never heard of, and it was super cool. And this was the perfect application for it for these folks, and they just wouldn't bite. And
well, I can't wait to hear what this product is. It sounds like teleportation or something.
All
like
right, we're going to come back to that. First, we got to know a little bit more about Mary.
Okay.
So, what about Mary? Like how he did that? Huh?
Do you want to know something about Mary?
I do.
Okay.
All right. Mary, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited. Okay.
She's blushing.
So, Mary, you came in, you started talking, and our audience is going to find this out very quickly. So, you're a native Atlantan.
I am. Yeah, I know. Atlanta's a city of transplants, but I've been here. I grew up in Stone Mountain. Scott and I love it. And it's a great place to raise a family. And we actually wanted to move away. Not that Atlanta's not great, but there were other places we wanted to explore. But my in-laws moved here from Connecticut because they were tired of the snow. So they were here, and we just decided to stay because we had young kids, and it's nice to be in a family.
Here?
A job.
Okay.
So yeah, he came down. He's from St. Louis, and he worked for Singular Wireless, and they made him offer he couldn't refuse, and he came down and never looked back.
So have you always wanted to start your own business?
No, but my grandparents were serial entrepreneurs. So, and I actually didn't make the connection until later on, but my grandparents my mom's parents had owned a luncheonette. They owned a ballroom. They got their real estate licenses. And they learned English. Their English actually wasn't proficient enough to take the exam very well. Like they had to memorize questions. And
where were they from?
My grandmother was from Lithuania and my grandfather was from Malta. And I don't know how the hell they communicated.
How did they meet?
That is a great question. I don't know that I know the answer. Oh, I've got to find that out. I'm going to ask my mom.
Can we back up?
It could be Ellis Island.
I'm a little myopic, but what do they speak in Malta and what do they speak in Lithuania?
Oh,
Lithuanian.
Let me tell you. They speak Maltese and Lithuanian, which are two of the hardest languages in the world.
I didn't even know they were languages.
Yeah.
Again, coming off the Olympics here, great time for all of us and total worldly.
Malta's not that far from the motherland, for you, Chris.
Malta is close to Italy. That's why I figured it was Italian.
That's like 4 hours by ferry from Sicily.
Yeah. That's why I thought it was. That's why I was waiting to hear. I thought for sure it'd be Ticciolano. That's the only word I could say. Actually, all the other words I could say, you can't say. Well, I can say because nobody will fucking know what I'm talking about. But obviously, I just dropped that one, so I might as well say them all.
Yeah.
All right.
But
with that.
I think I came by the entrepreneurial gene, honestly. Like my grandparents had done this, and so I kind of discovered that I had never really thought about owning my own business, but I'm so glad that I did. I took the lead.
All right, let's talk about that because one of the things we talk about with our audience is that Alan and I both did the corporate America gig. In our cases, we were just both making so much money, we didn't even know what to do with it all. And at the time, we couldn't dump it on our boats or anything meth related in celery because I don't think meth was around when
I didn't do celery. I had a boat.
You did?
Yeah.
I had a boat, just not big enough for me to put my cash in it. It was a little boat. So we made the leap. So we left. Again, it sounds great and gratifying, but it really was scary and terrifying because we left the security, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
that you get from corporate America. I mean, fat checks every 2 weeks. You get 401k, you get matching, you get all this healthcare stuff, and but you
The
were teaching
expense account.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that, Chris?
and the expense account.
I
You know
definitely
what?
was not
At the
making
end, I
money.
was not client facing, so I had no expense account.
Oh my God. I
So
played
in
so
fact,
much
that's
golf. I got tired of eating steak. Can you believe that?
and here we go. We
Yeah.
started our business. So Mary, you were teaching 8th graders,
I was. Yeah, I
but
taught Spanish.
and you talk Spanish.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. My degree's in Spanish and my undergraduate degree, and then I have a master's in foreign language teaching from Michigan State. Go Green.
Go.
Feel like we just wait,
I'm-
we need to do that over. Go Green.
Go white.
There we go.
Oh
There
my
we
God.
go. That was nice.
Huh?
Yeah,
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah. And so I
Good
had
luck
always
with
taught Spanish, and but for the last 10 years of my teaching career, I taught middle school Spanish.
Woo. So 8th graders.
Yeah.
I've heard the height of hormones are
Mhm.
8th grade.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's got to be the worst year to teach, I think.
I loved it though. I'll tell you, they are a mercurial bunch, those 8th graders.
That's a good
And
word.
and
That's a good word.
yeah.
That's
They-
in the SAT. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably so.
You've learned a couple good words these last couple podcasts.
I have. I'm ideating as we speak. I'm mercurial.
Ding, ding, ding.
Mercurial.
That was 5 points.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. So you're teaching this. And when did you go, okay, I've got to do this?
Do you have what it takes to start your own business? Are you tired of the 9-to-5 corporate job and ready to make that leap into entrepreneurship? You need to check out From the Zoo to the Wild, the book by successful entrepreneur Chris Lalomia. This book is a unique perspective on the journey into the wild world of home services and delivering excellence in service while working in customers' homes. Lalomia shares his path to success in this industry, including proven customer relationship strategies, award-winning customer experience processes, and a unique approach to training a team of service technicians to perform at the highest levels. Whether you're a small business trying to scale or a franchise operation, From the Zoo to the Wild will give you the mindset, habits, leadership style, and customer-oriented processes to succeed as a small business owner in the world of home services. So if you're ready to take control of your future, get a copy of From the Zoo to the Wild today, available on Amazon.
About 3.5 years ago, I came home and I told my husband, this is going to be my last year. And it was just a few weeks after the school year started. I was a highly invested teacher. I believe in public education. I was every day I told my students I was glad to see them, and I meant it. I was not bullshitting them. I loved what I did. I was nominated Teacher of the Year the last 3 years I was at my school. And but I realized that there were problems in the American education system that I was not going to be able to solve. And that was difficult for me because I'm an advocate by nature.
So we should bring back spanking, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And the dunce cap.
Yeah, that's.
I think that would be a great combination.
How many times did you wear that, Chris?
We did not have that. I went to Catholic.
Did you
I
have
went
to
to
stand
Catholic
in the
school.
corner with your nose against the wall?
I had to do not that one, but I did have to write "I will not shut up" 500 times on the chalkboard. That was 4th grade, and then Sister Mary Pauline. I had to stay after school for an hour there. Then I had to clean the urinals. Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one.
Man,
that one.
I like that.
that would prevent future
in fact,
crime.
In fact,
Mhm.
this is what got me 2 days. I said, I'll even take the ruler off the knuckles. Oh, that wouldn't help. By the way, me getting out of things never works. And I
Yeah.
don't know why. I always felt like I smiled right when I said,
You just
I-
look guilty.
and I said, I'd rather have the ruler off the knuckles.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
You
Mr.
look guilty
Lalomia.
and you're lippy.
I am definitely lippy. All right. So, all right. So you're bring back the Duds cabin.
Yeah.
where are we going with this?
I didn't actually mean that, kids.
All right, thank you. Anybody who's listening, and you're a former student of Mary Block, you will soon be using her mobility devices, probably.
Correct.
Because she spanked you so hard.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're still twitching. All right. So you came home and said, "That's it, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm done." You know what?
Mm-hmm.
And he went, "Okay. Oh my, that's the best idea I've ever heard."
Oh, well, I'd already prepped him for that. Like if
Okay.
you're a teacher, you have this conversation on a regular basis with your spouse. You're like, listen, there's going to be a plan B because I'm not going to be able to do this forever, which is funny and tragic. But I don't want to bring us down. So yes, that he had been fully prepped. Like we'd had this conversation and I had taken care lost my dad in 2017 and I had taken care of him in his last year of life. He had a good long run. He was a World War II vet, lived until he was 91
God bless him.
and lived by himself near Highlands, North Carolina until he was 90. So he moved. I convinced him to move to Atlanta. He lived in a fabulous assisted living home. I was his youngest child. We were super close. So I took care of him and I experienced all of the things that my current customers experience in taking care of aging parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that obviously it was an effect.
Yeah.
But so immediately, what we all do, especially when we spend time with our elderly parents, is try to figure out how to capitalize on it.
Is that what we do?
I don't know. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So how can I make money off you, Dad?
I feel like you are twisting my words. No, that definitely was not the intention. But
No.
no, I mean, I realized, so I'm a very pragmatic person. Scott and I are not like, we weren't going to do food, fitness, or fashion. Not that those things aren't great, but that's not just really who we are.
Okay, so you just hit it off like you talked to a franchise consultant.
Yeah,
Because
we
you
were,
did-
no,
So how did you?
we
yeah,
didn't.
You didn't.
No.
Because I mean, you just rattled off. We've had a number of franchise consultants on, and she hit the three hot buttons right there: food, fitness, and fashion. So
Not that they aren't great,
no,
but wasn't my thing.
who's she kidding? No, they suck, guys.
Okay.
I mean, seriously,
right.
food, you're going down. You want to own a Subway? Might as well just go down there and let that thing implode anyway.
Man, you are
That's-
just a bundle of joy with these pills, aren't
Right?
you? Yeah.
I tell you what, these are my
You
happy
know the
pills.
True Chris is really
Actually-
coming out. I thought I knew the True
You know,
Chris.
maybe I saw Advil and I saw Nicole's Percocet. Maybe I hit the wrong one. I don't know. All right, let's continue, shall we? Okay.
How's
more
your leg?
bourbon.
Do you remember you have an owie?
No, I feel great. In fact, I'm bouncing around over here. I mean, my legs are bouncing. My hand, I'm like, wee, woo, wee. All
We
right.
have to have you back, Mary.
So, all right. So, talk us through the process because I think that's one of the big things. A lot of times people go, "Hey, I got an idea. Bang! I'm going to make $1 million. Let's go start it now."
Yeah. So okay, look, if you're gonna, I'm not 30, neither is my husband. So we are fans of calculated risk, but we're not rash. I mean, I think you have to have a certain amount of, you can't be risk averse and decide in the middle of your career you're going to go buy a business and go in a completely different direction. We did not use a franchise broker. We were one and done. We ran across this franchise. Scott was just doing some research online. We talked to them and that was it. We had very specific criteria. So we wanted a family-owned franchise. We can't control what happens at some point. Maybe they'll sell out to PE, but we didn't want micromanagement in a large corporate franchisor to begin with. So they ticked the box off there, and it's been great. I mean, we have a fair amount of autonomy, and we wanted it to be purposeful.
Existing franchise you bought? Existing location? Talk a little bit more about that.
No,
Brand new.
We started from scratch. Yeah, we were the first ones in Atlanta. There is one south of the city, but we are the only ones in the metro area.
Whoa. I'm going to say it out loud. I didn't know that. I thought you guys had 4 or 5 here, and I thought you guys were oh wow, so you're the
No.
only franchise for Mobility Plus in North Atlanta.
Yeah, we own a fair amount of territory,
Yeah.
but we only have one store. And to be honest, not that I don't love my employees, but managing people is a tremendous challenge. I thought I was a little cocky because I'm like, I taught 8th grade. I can manage people.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to bring your 8th graders back now, don't you? Right? Because you're
And
like,
her employees,
seriously,
her
how did
employees
you
are
get to
listening. Her
They're-
employees are listening.
No, she loves you guys, and you want to listen to this because you want to hear why she
She
did this.
really isn't going to spank you.
Because, but the dunce cap sounds like it might be on the horizon. I mean,
No, my current employees are amazing, but we did have some challenges finding the right team. And that is what I tell everybody. Like when you are worried about starting a business, yeah, there's plenty to worry about. But what you really need to focus on is how challenging it is to build a quality team because they're the ones that are going to make your business.
All right, so you buy into this franchise. So talk to us a little bit about how did you finance it? How did you do this? Did you guys save up the money, get rid of the rock and roll? How'd you do that?
Can she just tell us what they do,
No, not yet.
please?
No.
Okay.
We prey on old people. Hang on, we're getting back to that. I mean,
That's
we help.
not nice.
We help people age in
We
place.
need her services. Come on.
Well, actually, you're at that age. We were talking about your parents, but really, I was talking about the grab bar for you there, tough guy.
Yeah,
And I'm never going on the roof ever again. I'm now officially old.
that's a good
You
idea.
could put a grab bar on the roof.
Jesus Lord, I should have had a grab bar. And oh, don't forget the fact that the sun came up while I was on the roof, and it was even worse. So, yeah, okay. Chris has done a lot of stupid things in his life, and I just keep checking boxes that you didn't think I could, but I find them. They're hidden boxes. They're kind
As
of
a
like
good friend should.
Yeah. All right. So, how did you guys start the biz, finance it? That's what, because I think that's interesting for a lot of people.
Yeah. So we got an SBA loan and we already knew what kind of space we wanted. So we went light industrial. A pure retail space is appealing, I think, because we are a retail business, but we do home access. So I've got large wheelchair aluminum modular ramp systems. I've got stair lifts. I've got vertical platform lifts and vehicle lifts. All of those things are really large. They take up a lot of space. So you've got to have a big warehouse. So ultimately, we went with a light industrial space and we have 3,500 square feet and we use every inch of it.
Yeah.
Do you do scooters?
Yeah.
Do you race the scooters?
We do. Yes, we do. I've got one.
I love this
60
lady, man.
miles
This is
an
awesome.
hour.
We do.
Yep, we do. And I win.
So
I will let it's strategy.
Chris and I take you
Yeah,
guys on.
strategy.
You know what? I think we're doing that.
Yeah.
We're going to have a Mobility
Live
Plus.
remote
All right, so,
scooter race.
So what is Mobility Plus? Let's talk about this.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. All right. Mary, what do you guys do?
So Mobility Plus sells, rents, and repairs fall prevention products, home access products, and medical equipment. So we do hospital beds and wheelchairs and stair lifts, as I mentioned. We've partnered with someone that does full elevators now as well, so we can offer full residential elevators. We do powered mobility and manual mobility.
So if I had a scooter, AKA hypothetically, of course, how fast can I soup it up to make it go?
Can he get
believe it or
home from the
not,
club before his ice melts is what he wants to know.
Probably not. Probably not. If it's a class 2 medical device, it's going to be capped at 4 miles an hour. We have a governor and we can make it go 1 mile an hour, which I think you would need because I've only spent a few minutes with you, but I'm pretty sure we'd have to put the governor on your scooter.
I think you need to put one of
Lock
those
it down.
breathalyzers on his scooter.
That's
You know
an
what?
excellent idea.
My golf cart is Governor Less, my friends. And there's a reason.
Do you have to blow in a tube before you get in it?
No.
Oh.
And there's a reason that the top is barely hanging on with JB Weld and duct tape, my friends. It was my kids, by the way. It was my kids.
Sounds
not
very
me.
nice.
So, all right. So you got into this, and what you're talking about though is what you're helping people do though with Mobility Plus, age in their homes or convalesce in their homes, so they don't have to stay in a hospital or an assisted living place. So, I find that is fascinating because I'm finding that more and more that people want to stay in their homes longer.
Absolutely. We do help people thrive in assisted living as well, but obviously those offerings are more limited. So our customers that live in assisted living communities need power wheelchairs and scooters, rollators and walkers. A rollator is a walker that has 4 wheels on it. A walker has no wheels or 2 wheels and 2 pegs. So those are the items that we sell to people who live in assisted living. But I would say the majority of our customers are wanting to age in place, and we want to help them do that.
Where are you finding the biggest demand right now here in the Atlanta area?
Like geographically, what part of town or what
No,
product?
Product, yeah, product or service.
Stair lifts and ramps for sure. Because people, you've been in your home for 30 years, 40 years, you didn't anticipate. I mean, all of us logically, like the logical mind knows that we're going to age and that we're going to need assistance. But when you're 40, 50, reality hasn't set in because you're not experiencing it yet. So we have people who've been in their homes and it's a 3-story home and they do not want to leave. And so a stair lift is life changing for them.
And that's just like the old commercials, the little seat that you sit on and
Yeah.
takes you up the stairs.
Yeah.
Can we soup those up?
I mean, you could try. I don't know.
I'm talking
We
like
could
ejector lift. I'm talking squirrel ejector.
turbo booster.
I went and did an estimate for a lady, and she goes, "Can you go downstairs because I want to build a closet for all my clothes?" I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "All right, go down there. I'll be down there in just a minute." And she had the stair lift. I mean, I was down there with one of my estimators. I swear to God, we were down there for like 35 minutes, man. You're like, in 35 minutes, might as well have been like 100 years.
You know what you need is
It was
a
like
stair lift.
Safety feature.
A stair lift to go up and a slide on the way down.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
No, but again, we make light of this. Big thing that we've done at the Trusted Toolbox is a lot of aging in place. We've had Janet Engel on and Esther on from agingplacedirectory.com. On the radio show
Do
here
you know
local,
them?
I don't.
You need to
I
know
think I
them.
need to know them.
you are going to know
Yeah.
that because we're going to hook you up. I had them on my
It
radio
was worth the
show.
drive right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we got things. We're going to hook you up. That's why we've been waiting to do this.
Well, and by the way, my in-laws are moving here from the West Coast, and we need a scooter. We need to get
Excellent.
Grammy to the dining hall.
I got you.
Okay. All right. See, there it is. Business being done
That's
on the
right.
Trusted Toolbox podcast.
Mhm.
The Trusted Tool. It's called the Small Business Safari.
You know, we've been
Thank
doing
you,
this for 30
everybody.
years. It's the
Hey,
Percocet.
I'm so thrilled. Can we soup grannies up?
Absolutely.
I want to come over there. I think we have to challenge them to a scooter duel.
I think so.
Yeah. Let's do it. I don't think so. The fastest the scooters go is like 6 miles an hour. I don't have any of those. Oh, I think actually I have one.
We could play like basketball on the scooters.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that'd be fun. How about there's we'll do archery on the scooter.
Or joust.
Yeah.
We could joust
Could
on the
joust.
scooter.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
So Mary's all about safety. Thank you, Mobility Plus. Thank you, safety.
No,
right,
listen,
let's
they
get-
send me these flags. And so instead we can use the flags instead of putting them on the backs. We can just use them to joust.
Oh my God, we're doing that.
That's right, gentlemen. You're
Oh,
welcome.
Live remote.
You know what? I think
Mobility
that might
Plus.
let's get breakdancing out of the Olympics and we could put
It's
the scooter.
breaking. It's breaking.
It's actually not going to be breaking in LA. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
I did.
I'm so
It was a
glad.
one and done.
That is not a sport.
That's not.
I
I mean,
apologize for editorializing, but I'm just saying.
right.
It kind of
bowling, a sport.
Yeah.
Golf, sport.
Correct.
Archery, a sport.
Mhm.
Shooting a pistol with one hand, with the other hand in your pocket, 100%
without
sport.
the safety
And
glasses.
the man, that dude is I mean, I got him on my wall in my office. I'm like, that's a man right there, boy. I mean, you want to be that dude, right? It's like super cool.
Mhm.
And I love the backstory. The backstory was here's the alleged one, and that was he thought it was a hit, and they showed him a bullseye. And he goes, okay. Then the other one was he's going through a divorce and he needed a release, and he had to learn how to shoot a gun. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Still, I'm in. I got him on the wall. So, all right, back to Mobility Plus. Can we? Dude, shooting people on scooters or javelin or
It's
jousting?
jousting.
Jousting.
Didn't you ever go to the Renaissance Fair?
I did.
Jousting.
That's so in the scooter at 6 miles an hour. I just, oh my God. Okay, it might be the Percocet talk. I mean, Advil, not meth celery. All right, back to this. Okay.
That's on a
So
log.
you guys, when did you start the biz?
When? 3 years ago? No, 2.5. We've been open 2 years at the end of this month.
Did you have a business plan?
Yeah. I
Did-
mean, it's a requirement for an SBA loan. You have to have a business plan. So
Right.
yeah,
Did you hit your business plan in the time that you thought you would?
we did.
Look at you.
Oh,
Hello, everybody. Success story brought to you by the Small Business
that
Safari.
face on her was like, suck it, Chris.
It's-
She did too.
Yeah.
In fact, not just and you guys can't see this because I don't have the video going the right way, but she then gave me the hands down break that, bro. I was like, you can't do that, Mary. You taught eighth graders. You're making me feel bad now.
That is how I taught eighth graders. What are you talking about? Clearly, you've never taught eighth graders.
No,
No, listen,
and afraid to talk to them.
I
Frankly.
think honestly, I still many days I have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Because I've completely reinvented myself, right? And not that I didn't believe I was capable. I mean, but I think it is so scary to completely rewrite your story. And I mean, not just me, like the main breadwinner of our family, we did it together. So it is terrifying. So I think I've become more comfortable at celebrating my success. I am so damn proud that we hit our business plan and that we are succeeding. And, we haven't yet built a scooter empire, But my husband's been with me for a year. He was in corporate marketing before, and he came on with me full time a year ago, and we're making it work. We're paying our bills and we're doing it, and it feels so good.
What are some of the things that are happening that you had no idea to expect?
Oh my God. Let me tell you. Okay, number one, we hired a full-time retail manager when we first opened. And all I'm going to say is that I learned the hard way that someone's best day, like the day that they are on and they are showing you their best self, is when they interview with you.
Mm. Gold
And
nugget, everybody.
oh my God, I feel like one of my strong points, one of my strengths is training, right? I mean, I was a teacher and I was good at what I did.
100%. Yeah.
So I feel like I worked really hard to put together a strong SOP manual and, written processes as well as verbal instruction. And I realized that some things this individual was doing, she was really great with customers, and that was a real strong suit of hers. But she struggled being detail oriented and keeping things like credit card numbers in the right person's profile, in the
Is that
system.
bad?
That that causes a really bad day. I'm
So,
just gonna say.
so there's another gold nugget. Putting the wrong credit card on the wrong customer,
Yep,
bad.
that
Bad,
is
yeah.
That's a bad thing.
BAD.
Yeah, BAD. There's an acronym in there, and that says don't fucking do that. I think that's what it stands for, right?
9 weeks it lasted, but
Oh, 9 weeks.
9 weeks, and I was like,
And you should have fired her at week 3.
correct.
Yeah.
But I think
I
that
do the
was
same.
that was a reality check because also as a teacher, I think, I'm a nurturer, I'm an empathetic person, and I had to just toughen up and just say, this is not working and I've got a business to run and money to make, and I'm not going to compromise my ability to do that to
But
make
so
this
hard.
person feel better. It's really hard.
So I have we use the disc profile, and I have the coaching profile. And so I have coached long before the employee was dead, way before I finally let
Mhm.
them go. And I just kept coaching, going, there's no way I can't get you off the mat. There's no way I can get you up here. I got
Mhm.
you, man. I'm going to prop you up. Weekend at Bernie's. We're going to do this. And you said you did 9 weeks.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I swear to God, that's what I've done.
Sorry,
And-
it took a second to hit. Let me laugh at that one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. So for everybody on the pod, so Alan just had one of my fancy drinks that I laced with Percocet. I mean, Advil, my Advil. So yeah, so that's hard, right? You
Yeah.
have to learn that lesson early. You're like,
Mhm.
man, I tried so hard and I was looking for the best in you,
Right.
and you just didn't give it to me. You just wanted to so kill Weekend at Bernie's. Thank you. All right.
But I've got a great team now.
Yeah.
And I think, so we hired about 8 months ago, we brought on a part-timer. So after I had to let the retail manager go, I had PTSD. I had to recover for a few months. I'm like, I can, and also hiring people, that is a part-time job. Like when you do it yourself, sifting through those resumes on Indeed and ZipRecruiter, I swear it was like 15 hours a week.
How about this one? So I advertised for a salesperson,
Mm-hmm.
and I got 4 Walmart greeters, 2 home. I mean, I could do the whole da 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 da. Da. I was like, oh no, you're not a salesperson. Yeah, Walmart greeter, no. Home Depot cashier, no. Yeah, Publix cashier, no. I mean, guys, seriously, I said sales, in-home service sales. You can make up to $120,000 a year, and these guys are applying. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so hard.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But we learned, so after a few months off, we did it again and found someone great. She was the last resume out of weeks of looking. And I was with girlfriends in Chicago, and I'm just because with the platform we were using, you were charged every 72 hours for the resumes in your bucket. Well, if they weren't quality resumes, then you're being charged for junk, right? So I had to really stay on top of it. And the last one I had just emptied and gotten rid of all the junk. And I was like, oh my God, forget it. We're not going to find somebody. Last one. She's amazing. She can only work part-time though. So we've had her for about 8 months. And so now we're ready to, in addition to her, bring on a full-time retail manager. And this time we are using somewhat a recruiter, someone to find the individual for us.
Yeah, I've actually had to switch. I've been at this for 16 years. When I first started, I started on Craigslist. This is back in 2008. I get 150 people resumes coming through for me to find one handyman. And then 2008 hit and it just everything. Well, I was in 2008 and it just started drying up. COVID hits. I get nobody. So I've actually had to switch to a recruiter, but I've been through a ton of them and spent a lot of money and trying to have people help me. And it's hard. I mean, you think you can do it yourself. And Mary, you brought this up. If there's a 40-hour week, which I put that in quotes, I would say 10 of those was focused on recruiting and then talking to these clowns. I mean, great potential employees and human beings and
future leaders,
fellow brothers and sisters of mine in this world that we call Earth. I'm so into everybody. I'm full of shit. That's the reason I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's hard. Yeah. So you've had to do that. So you get into this thing, you have a franchisee.
Yeah.
You're a franchisee of a franchisor. Tell us how they helped you get to where you are. You hit your business plan. I mean, kudos right there. We're going to keep coming back to that. That's huge.
How many locations nationally for them?
64.
Okay, so it's still pretty small.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at Alan throwing around just I know a little bit about franchising. I like that. That's solid.
Yeah, so it's interesting because a lot of franchise.
You didn't think she knew
what?
That you were a franchise king.
Yeah, I am.
All right.
I don't know if I'd quite say that.
Franchise king.
I like that name.
Wow.
Right?
I'm with royalty.
You really are. I mean, honestly, again,
I will
failed
I
as
will knight
successful.
you later.
All right, go.
No, well, so a lot of franchisors, they have a concept and they throw it out there, and if we sell a bunch of franchisees, then we'll backfill the services that we really need to provide that we kind of said that we had. Then there are other ones that actually do have a great support system, even though it might be lean, so that the newer the startup franchisees, the first wave, don't get annihilated. So, I don't know if you want to talk about your franchisor on the air, but
oh, listen, I mean, we've been so happy. There's a lot to be said for a family-owned franchise, corporate franchisor. They're highly invested in their franchisees. At no point have we felt the tension that I assume can develop between franchisees and franchisors. I think they really have our best interest at heart. It's a symbiotic relationship. They solicit feedback from their franchisees. And so far the experience has been great and really supportive.
And there you go, Ellen.
Well,
I mean, Mobility Plus should be a sponsor. And can we get the governors off these freaking scooters at 6 miles an hour? That's all I want to know.
I could dig in this a little bit because the franchisor, when you buy a franchise, you got to play inside. You got to play inside a defined box.
Yeah.
All right.
And the defined box includes their marketing program. Your husband happens to be a marketing person. Has there been any conflict there? Like, okay, well, I kind of maybe I'm going to do this instead of what you told me I needed to do.
There has not been a problem because they don't really control our marketing.
Mary is just not used to our back and forth play in studio. But Alan, when you're here, it's awesome. But when you do that, that's when it's dying. You got to come around this way or move the mic over. And Michael's not going to cut it out. So we're right back there. And by the way, she said go green, go white. I choked on it. You know what? Let's go back.
You want to do it again?
Can we do the question again? It's not getting cut out. Let's just do it again. I mean, who are we kidding?
Rewind.
Michael. I mean, it's even more fun when we say it's like Smartless. And so, hey, those guys are so polished. And then again, so shitty at the same time.
This is authentic.
We're authentic. You know what? And so are those three, whatever. It depends on what day they're on.
Yeah.
Of course, all three of them. All right. So back to the question.
Yeah, it was just, your husband's in marketing. They've got a defined marketing plan. You can't deviate from that because you'll infect the brand negatively.
Well, I think, okay, so in our case, we do have a lot of autonomy. They do control our website. Our website is, corporate managed. But our marketing is not. I mean, obviously we have parameters like you have to use, branding colors and all of that, but we can do pretty much what we want to do.
Well, let's talk about that because I think that where Alan's going, at least where I'm thinking, is they tell you, hey, we love Valpak and Money Mailer.
No,
And I'm not
they
putting
don't.
those two down, but of course I am. Uh,
So much for their sponsorship.
Yeah.
Goodbye. So, but so they're not telling you you've got to go this way, you got to
No.
do that way. No.
No.
Again, a good franchisor is a partner and somebody who wants
Yeah.
to see you succeed.
Mhm.
So that way they can get their cut because they started with this idea. They give you guys great access to products.
Mhm.
Because I've saw that we've talked about this on your website.
Mhm.
That's where I think their franchise makes a lot of sense because they get access to power buying on grab bars and different mobility things and different
Mhm.
different products that we can't get. And if they can get them, they can power buy them and get them a little bit cheaper than us at, actually I don't even buy most of my grab bars at Depot anymore.
How's your Spanish helping your business?
It's excelente.
No,
No,
muy
listen,
bueno.
I'm thrilled when I have the opportunity to use it because often a family, probably about 5 times, families come in and, abuela is with them and she's visiting. And normally in every store they go into, she is relying on one of the grandkids or her son or daughter to translate, right? And she's not fully part of the conversation. But when they come in my store, I can speak to them in Spanish. And so everyone's included. And that makes me feel so good to be able to give that to that family member. I love that. But it's only happened about 5 times. I've had someone come in and occasionally people call on the phone and yeah,
Have you actually used that in your marketing though?
that we speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great question. I think that I do oh, it's on my Google business
Oh,
profile.
thank God. But
That,
I
yeah.
mean, oh, for the love of
It
Pete. I mean,
was a
he
great
just,
question. Wasn't it a great question?
by the way, we keep score here, Mary,
Yeah.
like a married couple. I don't know. You and her husband have a great relationship. We know that already. But the two of us,
We're in therapy.
We're in therapy.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
sense this.
thank you. I know. It's deep seated,
Yeah.
and it's taking a lot. We're making progress, though.
Okay.
All right. So back to Mary.
One of us is.
Hey, well, thank you. Again, couples therapy. Couples therapy. We both have to agree to do it.
It's true.
Okay. Oh my God. We got way off.
So what percentage of your customers come from marketing, social media, print, whatever, versus off the street? Now you said you had light industrial, so you probably don't get off the street.
We don't really. So we're a destination. They'll Google hospital bed rentals near me because we rent and we sell. So they'll Google what it is that they need and then come see us. I'm glad to say we are getting a lot of referrals at this point. 2 years in, we have repeat customers, and then they're telling friends and family. So that's great.
All right, hang on.
Yeah.
You said repeat customers. I mean,
Yeah.
let's think about this.
Oh,
for a minute.
no, don't go there.
Come on,
Chris.
man. I mean,
That's just-
seriously.
I mean, it's rich and fertile, but
Come on.
don't
I
go
mean,
that.
seriously, you can't have repeat customers.
Unless you believe in reincarnation,
We
maybe.
do.
Well, I actually have to switch religion soon, just so I can go through the portal that way. Okay, so referrals. All right, so that's the biggest part. We talk about this. What percentage of your revenue do you spend on advertising, and then what's been the richest return on investment?
So, well, I mean, I guess the golden rule in marketing is, 10% on marketing. But yeah,
I'm a little lower, but that's cool.
yeah, not hard and fast, but so
Are you saying 10%, you get a 10% response to your marketing?
no,
No, you
10% spent.
10%.
She
Yeah.
spends 10% on her revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, on marketing, but we're not quite there. I mean, that's if you have like a
Good.
global kind of omni marketing plan, which
Yep.
we're not quite there yet. So we focus
job.
on SEO and Google. The first thing we did, the first money we spent, and I'm so glad we made this decision, was to hire an SEO firm and a digital marketing firm. So they've been great for us, and that really kind of jump started things at the beginning, made our phone ring. Because, you just got to get people in the door, right? When you get people in the door, then it's up to you to to make that sale, close that sale, find a solution for their problem, but you've got to get them in there. So for us, since we're not in a pure retail space, Google is really important, and it still brings us the majority of our customers.
Who are you competing against?
So we are competing against, so there are not a whole lot of local mobility dealers. There are other dealers that do some of what we do, but we're the only ones in the Atlanta area that do all of what we do. So that gives us an advantage. we compete on value, not price. So like if somebody walks in my door and they've got a stack of notes and they're done all their research online and they think they know exactly what they need, they're not my customer. Because they don't see me as the expert, right? They think that they've got it all figured out. And that kind of customer is somebody who's really happy purchasing the item online. So our customer wants somebody who's available. They want somebody that they can text when they have questions and that, will show up on a Sunday if they can't figure out how to get the hospital bed up or down or whatever. We don't have to do that often, but we're willing to do it. And I think that's what makes the difference with us.
Solid move on what she's doing with the retail marketing and everything like that. 10%, that's the rule of thumb. And what I've always talked about was the dollar we spend, you got to have 10 to 1 back on that. That's a hard number to pick up. And that's what I've done with the Trusted Toolbox is that if we don't have a 10 to 1, then we're not doing what we need to do. We need to be more efficient in our marketing. And that's been hard. And so I'm very proud of how we've done it. We've done a lot of networking, but the handyman is a very personal concept. But so is yours. But you hit your business plan on your time, and I was only 2 years behind mine. So I'm not going to applaud myself or pat myself on the back. I'm just going to say
It's still
that
really
was
good,
14
though.
years in the back. 16 years later, I'm an overnight success. All right, back to Mary, shall we? All right. So, Mary, as you guys grow this and help people, and we're starting to come to the end of the podcast, some of the things you've learned, some of the things you want to put in place as you grow, and how big do you want to get?
So big to us doesn't necessarily mean more locations. We want to build our customer base and get more referrals and serve more people, but that doesn't mean that we're going to have more stores necessarily. So building out our team, I think is probably the first way we're going to scale. So hiring a full-time retail manager. We have a full-time tech now, but we'll need another part-time tech within the next 12 months for sure. They're hard to find, but
And the tech does what?
the repair. So we have a VA contract. We work with the Atlanta VA. We do a lot of service and repairs. We do stair lift installs, wheelchair ramp installs, and repairs of complex rehab mobility equipment for the Atlanta VA. So our full-time tech is really busy. So we've got enough work for another part-time tech because that individual also is installing stair lifts and, with my husband and doing repairs for our regular customers as well.
And if you have an issue with your scooter, do you go to you too? Do you fix it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that's better than getting
Mhm.
online, huh?
Yeah.
I think so, right? I mean, again, the Mobility Plus, and I said it on the whole podcast. Frankly, when I researched her, I thought she was one of 4 franchises here. So I was missing something in my research. So, oh well.
Good thing I didn't look anything up.
Yeah, you did a great job in not preparing, Alan. So I like.
Sometimes I just kind of know,
Yeah.
when to just come in blind.
All right, so Mary, you're talking about this is the second career. You've reinvented yourself. You actually said something. I'm rewriting our story. I think that's going to be the headline of this podcast, guys. And if you didn't learn something, you guys are driving around doing your thing, walking, listen to us. We've enjoyed having everybody here. We get a lot of great feedback over email. And before we let Mary go, I wanted to talk about the other side of the spectrum. I just had a young person say, "Hey, I follow your podcast." I was like, "Really?" They go, "Yeah, because I've always wanted to start my own business. And I figure if I listen to you guys and you guys are entertaining," I said, "Well, one of us is."
Thank
But
you.
they
I
said,
appreciate
they
that.
said, one of the things I really picked up is that you bring in a lot of unique perspectives and you talk about not only the easy stuff, but the hard stuff that my mom and dad would never have told me. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, that meant a lot to me, and that was pretty cool. And so I wanted to bring that up at the end, and so we're going to finish with Mary as a teacher. I've been saving that one up. So Mary, as a teacher,
Mhm.
what would you tell people, young or old, what should they do to get ready to start their own business?
Well, I think you have to get really comfortable with your plan B and your plan C may not work. And you have to determine, do you have enough resolve um, for things to go to shit? And can you, dig deep and figure it out anyway? Like, are you going to be able to withstand that? Because you cannot possibly foresee all of the complications. Like you think you can. You think you've got it all figured out and you've talked to all the people and you've done all the research. I am here to tell you that you have not. And one day the sky's going to be falling, and are you strong enough? And you have to have that conversation with yourself and get your head right.
I can't sum up any better than that one.
Mic
We got to
drop.
go.
Yep.
Mic drop. We're out of here. Get in that pain cave. Get out of that pain cave. Keep going up that mountain. Let's get to success. Let's get it all done. We're going to scooter out of here. We're jousting soon, my friend.
Cheers. Thank
We're
you.
out of here.